After watching the Steelers offense in this performance against Atlanta, it became pretty apparent that the only fun part of the whole offense was watching Zack Frazier play. And just how he plays. Taking Grady Jarrett right out of the gym right there, getting chippy with them. Like, he just starts it, he finishes it, he agitates it. It's the best part of the whole thing. You watch him right here. Like, watch this to Lorenzo Carter. Down goes Lorenzo. Bam! Slam to the ground. He wants to get back up, slam him down again. Like, this is the fun part of this offense. The other stuff is just dreadful. But let's just watch that. How many pins, how many knockdowns can you get in a day? Torqued. Bam! On the back. That's a two-point takedown. For a state wrestling champion, you get 2 points for that. Like, I just started counting the takedowns, the knockdowns, the pancakes. It was one after another. Like, this is fun. Finally, the offense, became interesting to watch. You watch him right here. Eddie Goldman. He goes down. Bam. Now, let me go up and see if I can get some. Oh, maybe I can get Landman, too. Like, this is it. This is where the action is, right here. Right there in the very middle. All right, double team. Now, let me go get some Landman. Let me go get another piece here. Can I get somebody down? I think so. I think I can get somebody over the pile. I can finish him. There we go. Ah, yeah. Perfect. Oh, let's keep going because it doesn't stop here. Let's get him on some skates right here. All right? Let's run him into a pile. Let's wad him up. In fact, that's a good nickname for him. Big Wad. Big Wad goes down. Bam. This is how you become a state wrestling champion. You take him down to the mat. That's where they belong. Get him down on the mat. Here we go. Put him down. Bam. Down on the mat. One after another. Count them. Like, it never stops. Like, all the way to the end of this game, it doesn't stop. The mat man, Zack Frazier. This is fun. This is the only thing I enjoyed watching the whole day in this offense. Like, just watching Zack Frazier go about his business. There we go. He loves being on top. Doesn't he? Oh, this was enjoyable.
To be honest, Zack the Mat Frazier is the best fitting nickname for Zack Frazier. He does not stop until he gets the players to the mat. So this breakdown was done by Brian Baldwinger. Baldy NFL is his X handle. Go ahead and follow him, check him out. He does great player and team breakdowns. But looking at these plays by Zack Frazier, he was a bright spot on the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line and a sigh of relief at the center position, especially for what us fans and the team has saw at the center position for the last few years. For the last 3 years since Marquise Pouncey retired, you look at the center position, it was all out of sorts. Kendrick Green always being off balance, bad snaps. Mason Cole comes in as a veteran. You think that's going to be solved, that he's going to have better snaps, he's going to have a better position and not be off balance. Well, it was somewhat the same with him as well. So now drafting a rookie in the second round at the center position, you're hoping that he's able to be the future center of the franchise. And so far, so good. He looked amazing. He looked exactly what we expected Kendrick Green to be at the center position based off the wrestling background. Because both of them had a wrestling background. Obviously, that did not help Kendrick Green, but that's helping Zack Frazier in week 1 against the Falcons, being able to be strong, being able to be sturdy, and get the players to the ground and be able to be on balance, have that contact balance. And you look at Zack Frazier, he does not stop until he gets them to the mat. You look at this, and that's what he's learned. That's exactly what Brian Baldwinger was saying in terms of being a state champion wrestler, in which Zack Frazier was. You look at him, and he's getting the players to the mat, and that's what he does best. And he's just a complete mauler. He mauls the 350-pound defensive lineman and gets them to the ground. So he does it with ease as well. If this is just the beginning of Zack Frazier, he's looking like a really, really good player. You know what was a complete surprise this past weekend after the game, after everything? Well, there's obviously rankings of positions, and the offense line got a ranking by the NFL in terms of, hey, how did they do as an offensive line altogether? And the Steelers ranked second amongst offensive lines this past Sunday, this past NFL week. And the only team above them was the New Orleans Saints. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, after having troubles on the offensive line for the last, 5+ seasons, You look at this offensive line, and it was ranked second. And it was ranked second with players injured and players out. For example, Dan Moore Jr. dealing with an injury. Brock Jones has been dealing with his elbow injury for a while now. You look at Isaac Seumalo, he was out. Spencer Anderson had to fill in. A new rookie center. The only real person who was on that offense line, well, that was fine, I believe, was James Daniels. So you look at the offense line, and it was way better than it was in past seasons. You could give credit to Arthur Smith, but you have to give credit just to these offense linemen fighting and getting through the injuries and just playing through it and being maulers. So you look at this offense line, and hopefully this is going to last all season. Yes, there's some times where Justin Fields was pressured early, but sometimes you have to put that on Justin in terms of his dropbacks. He would take less step dropbacks, but he really should have took longer steps. I did a video on this yesterday, and there is a breakdown on that, so go ahead and check it out. But sometimes you have to put that on the quarterback and not just the offensive line. Anyway, it was really just a big sigh of relief because in the preseason, this offensive line looked terrible. First team, second team, third team offensive line, it just looked terrible. But in this first game against the Falcons, against a defense in which was getting so much hype, with Matthew Judon, with Justin Simmons, Bates, everyone like that. Everyone on this defense was getting hyped up before this game, but the Pittsburgh Steelers offense line stood their ground and held their own, even against Jarrett as well. So you look at this offense line, and it starts in the center. It starts with the person who has the ball. Yes, there was a QB center exchange, but you really don't know whose fault that was. It happened twice early on in the game, but it got fixed. And that's a good thing. That would have lasted through the entire game if it was any other center like Mason Cole or Kendrick Green. But Zack Frazier, Justin Fields, they're able to fix the mishaps early and get it perfect and not have a miscommunication at all the rest of the game. Early on, it was kind of worrying. Hey, is this going to keep on happening? But it didn't. So Zack Frazier as a rookie, Justin Fields as the second string kind of quarterback coming in and not having all the reps, you could see why there's some miscommunication, but they're able to get that down pat. Zack Frazier was able to hold his own and look like a Hall of Fame center in week 1. A few years ago, we missed on the opportunity to draft the best center in the league right now in Creed Humphrey because we passed on him, decided to go with the tight end instead, and now he's the highest paid center in NFL history, so we passed on him, but now hopefully we have our guy in Zack Frazier. Hopefully he could be our next Marquise Pouncey, and then some other guys on this offense line start playing up to their capability as first round talent, and we could truly rebuild the offense line from the ground up. What a great start for Omar Khan. But Brian Baldwinger said it, his nickname is Zack the Mat Frazier. So with that being said, let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on Zack Frazier being an absolute mauler, just mauling these 350-pound defense linemen like it's nothing. Your thoughts on the highlights and analysis in this video. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below about this next game as well. Do you like this offensive line heading into week 2, or do you think they still have so much to work on? Let me know your thoughts. And who would you start at certain positions in terms of right tackle, left tackle? So make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications as well for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis, reports, everything. I've covered all this offseason. Now as we get into the actual game, there's going to be more breakdowns, more highlights, more analysis. I'm covering that all as well throughout the season. So this is the best spot for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and everything like that. If you want to listen, watch, and not have to read it. And until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.